like a gigantic ice-made sword of Damocles. They're only gonna get longer. It is freezing cold today, but I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I saw last night that made me really, really mad. So last night I was scrolling through Facebook, as I am prone to do, wasting so much time. Scroll. As I was scrolling, I stumbled upon this, what looked to be a very interesting story, and a story very relevant to me. It was for this site called Modern Agriculture, and it had all these pictures of interesting old farms, and talking about today's farms versus the farms of old times. You know, so for a guy like me who's trying to start up a farm here in northern Vermont, it's pretty spot on, well-targeted advertising. So I clicked on it. And as I click on it, it links to this essay about the imaginary farm. And it starts talking about the idyllic picture of a farmer who has a classic white farmhouse and a old red barn. But as I continued to read it, it started to talk about how, hey, this is all just one big fantasy. This farm, you'll find it on the side of an ice cream carton or a can of green beans. Children's toys mimic this fiction, and it feels authentic in the big screen. You'll hear all about it in popular country, blues, or folk music, and farm-to-table restaurants have a knack for serving up a taste of this rural myth. You'll be hard-pressed, however, to find this farm at work in the real world. The farm most Americans love isn't the one we actually have. It's part of the long history of romanticizing agrarian life. It's got a point. You know, it is making a good point that that myth of the agrarian lifestyle. You know, you think of this picture where the living is easy and everything is nice and simple, and the farmer's able to work out in the field and sell what he grows and make a healthy living, and all's good. And you know, the point that the article's making, that that's not the case, is very true. You're talking to a guy right now who just got up at the crack of dawn in -6-degree weather to haul buckets of water to a bunch of ducks that aren't even laying eggs. Farm life can be tough. But as I kept reading, I noticed a couple of interesting little cues. Within the article, they start talking about how margins in the commodity markets are shrinking, and it's hard to remain profitable, and there's lots of equipment costs. And as I kept reading more and more, I started to realize that this whole website was actually an advertisement for big ag. And you know, I said, wait a minute, who's putting this website out? And as I looked at it, I started to notice in like the tiniest lettering, yeah, I can't even get the camera to focus on it, but like right up here, it says sponsored by Monsanto. Monsanto.
Oh, Monsanto. You've probably heard about them before.
You can describe Monsanto as a pseudo-drug pusher.
The worldwide march against Monsanto has drawn hundreds.
They are now the world's #1 supplier of seeds.
The hashtag March Against Monsanto has been trending around the world.
Be part of the conversation at discover.monsanto.com.
Monsanto! Then if you like go through the website more and you click on the legal notice, what you'll find is that legal notice takes you to Monsanto's website, and they have all these cookieing notices, and there's all sorts of this legal mumbo jumbo, and you start to realize that this whole story and this whole advertising campaign was cooked up by Monsanto. And my reaction to that was, well, number one, oh my gosh, I'm starting to agree with Monsanto. And then, wait a minute, this is a sneaky, underhanded thing. I mean, if this company has some messages that they want to put out there about the importance of big ag and how they don't believe small farming is a viable model and that the traditional agrarian model just doesn't work, you know what? Go for it. Have at it. Spend all your advertising money doing it. Whatever. But you know, be honest and upfront about it. Don't conceal your identity. Don't bury it in there. Make sure that as people are clicking on that ad link and they're trying to explore who's putting that out there, that they know who that advertiser is. Be transparent. And as I started to think about it even more than that, what I really started to come to terms with is this. The argument in the article is that small farming doesn't work at a commodity crop level. And you know what? That's actually true. Small farms trying to work in the commodity market where they are price takers and not price makers just doesn't make any sense. But small farming at a scale where the farmer knows their customers and the farmer is direct selling, or the farmer is doing some sort of value add activity to what they're raising and growing and providing real value to the people who are buying from them, and there are customers who are out there who want a deeper, closer connection with their food, that type of model can work. I'm not going to be the one to stand up here right now and say that, hey, look, we are a profitable small farm. We are absolutely not that. But what I will say is that there are different business models that can work for small farmers. And as we are trying to stand up this farm and as we are trying to tell our story, that to me is an important story to tell. And I feel like it's the other side of an equation. For anybody who's out there who's considering, you know, commercial enterprises within their homestead or larger scale farming, I think it's important for them to know that the commodity markets aren't their only option, and that there are other ways to market and sell their products. And there are ways to become profitable. I know farmers who are doing this at a small scale and who are profitable. You just have to be very focused on thinking about several things. And it's not just about raising and growing the crops. It's about thinking about your marketing. It's about thinking about your sales. It's thinking about your relationships with your customers. And it's about thinking about how to manage your farm in a sustainable manner where you're treating the land in a respectful way that's going to be sustainable, when we're treating yourself in a way that's respectful and sustainable, and you're treating your community and customers in a way that's respectful and sustainable. And if you can get those things to match up, I personally believe that a small scale sustainable farm is possible. So I just want to say shame on you, Monsanto, for putting out this sneaky propaganda. I really wish you could be more honest with people. If you have something to say, be honest and be forthright with who it's coming from and the agenda that you have as you communicate that message. I hope there's somebody out there who sees this video at Monsanto, and I would be very curious to understand their point of view. I don't consider myself a person who's a zealot. I don't consider myself a person who has a closed mind. And so if they have a point of view, I'd be curious to really understand it. And if they have a counterpoint, I would want to hear it. Yet at the same time right now, they're just hiding behind a fake identity. So that's all I've got to say on this matter. If you guys want to see what we're doing on our farm, watch one of our other videos, or you can subscribe, and I will see you guys over in that next video as we continue to try to build a farm here in northern Vermont.